Hello everyone. Today we're going to be going through the process of installing TACACSGUI inside of Eve and G. Um, Basically I need a TACACS server and I don't want to have to go through the process of installing ICE. So I wanted something lightweight. So we're going to use this VM here, TACACSGUI, and I've used it past in GNS3 and I wanted to see about trying to install it in Eve and G. So let's go through the process of doing that. The first thing you're going to do is go to download and you're going to go choose manual installation and you can choose any one of these, and once you have the ISO you'll be ready to go on to the next step. I've already downloaded it, so we can go to that next step here. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and I've already puttied into my Eve NG box, and what we're going to do is the first thing we want to do is go ahead and create a new directory for this ISO. And basically you could name it anything you want, but you definitely want to have that Linux prefix there. That way it falls underneath your, when you go to add that image, it falls underneath the Linux, but you can probably name it whatever you want to name it there. I named it this, and I'm just going to hit enter after I put in my mkdir command before that. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and browse to that folder. Bam. All right, do an ls. Should nothing be in there right now. All right, what you're going to do next is use win scp. Oops, sorry about that. And you're going to open up WinSCP, or if you're going to use FileZilla, you can use that too. All right, I'm going to go to my server. All right, here I'm on the. I'll go ahead and browse over to where we're going to put that at. Should be the OPT, and it's going to be UNETLAB. Then you're going to go to add-ons, QEMU, and this is the folder that we created right here. All I'm going to do here is go over and upload that ISO right here and choose upload. Once we have that uploaded, you can basically go ahead and close your um, WinSCP session. If you had kept PuTTY open, you should still be in that same folder. I'm just going to do an ls again. All right, now you see the ISO that we downloaded. And what we want to do now is we want to rename that ISO to CD-ROM. So basically all I'm going to do is do an MV command. MV, it's going to name that ISO to CD-ROM ISO. Hit enter. I'll do an ls to confirm. CD-ROM ISO, that's what we want. You should still be in that same directory. So what you want to do now is create a virtual hard drive. I'm going to put this command in here, and this command basically is on the EVE-NG website. You can look up how to create your own Linux virtual machine, and you'll find the same instructions here. But this is the command right here. to hit enter. And we want to verify that that drive, that hard drive, that virtual hard drive was created. So I'll do an ls. All right, we got the CD-ROM, .iso, and the hard drive there. So we're good to go. All right, now what we're going to do is, if you haven't did this already, you're going to log into your Eve box, and you're going to want to just basically create a setup lab. And what you're going to do now is, for TACACSGUI, you actually have to have internet access to go through the installer. So what I'm going to do is, since this is the community edition and we don't have a NAT cloud available, I'm just going to click add. I'm going to add a network, and I'm just going to add the management cloud, which is basically just bridging your EVE-NG network adapter to this here so you can have internet access. And then what we're going to do is click add a new node, and we're going to go down to Linux, since that's what we put it under. Click Linux, and then you're going to go choose that image that you uploaded, which was this here. Now just take this node here and connect it to your cloud. And just go ahead and choose that there. Should only be one adapter on that. Now go ahead and power on this box. Alright, the one thing about this installer, and I ran into this when I first tried this installer runs totally by itself. So what's going to happen is it's going to just go through the installer, and if you have your DHCP running in your network, it's just going to go through and install everything by itself. And if you don't pay attention here, what's going to happen is it's going to go through the installer and reboot. And basically, if you still have that CD-ROM file still there, it's going to just reboot, install everything, and rerun itself again. So what you have to do is sit here and watch this. And basically, what you're going to watch for is, after it's done installing, you want to keep your uh, cursor over your Linux box. And I'll open this back up here. And once it looks like it's completed again, you'll see it come back to the Ubuntu server. Go ahead and stop it there. It's going to go through installing the system. I believe I have to look at this again, but you'll know once it restarts. I believe the last step is it'll install the grub, but I'm not quite sure. But you want to make sure that it just doesn't cycle itself, because if it does that, it's just going to run through this again. So you have to actually manually stop your VM from the Eve console, which is this right here. I have it off screen. Right now it's installing the grub, I guess is what I call it, bootloader, and I think this is the last step. So after this, it should reboot, and that's why I'm going to go ahead and stop it in EVE-NG. And I have that off screen. But basically what you're going to do is just right click and choose stop, but you want to make sure it finishes everything first, of course. Right here I just have this off screen, just waiting for it to finish. and then I'll just choose stop. Okay, see, I'm going to just go ahead and hit stop now. What will happen here? All right, basically what you want to do now is that you have the device stopped. You want to basically delete that CD-ROM ISO. So assuming that you are still had PuTTY open, which I did. If you didn't, you have to go ahead and PuTTY back into your Eve box, and you have to browse back to that same folder here or directory. And what you want to do is get rid of that CD-ROM deleted. So I'm going to do ls. I can see the CD-ROM ISO is still there. What you're going to do is run this command here. Because as long as this CD-ROM ISO is there, what's going to happen is it's acting like the VMC in it as a bootable, and it's going to go through the installer again. So run this command here. It'll do an ls and confirm that it's gone now. And all we have is the virtual hard drive there. So we should be good to start this back up again. I'm going to go ahead and bring back my topology here. I'm going to go ahead and fire this back up, and we'll complete the install. All right. We are back right here for TACACSGUI. I believe the login is just, here's the login here. The default login should be, let's see here. The default login for this should be just username, and that's the password. So we're going to go ahead and enter our username and password. All right. Once we log back in here, we should still have an internet connection, because it's basically using DHCP. So it's basically using your adapter that's on your Eve NG, and of course your adapter on your Eve NG should be able to get out to the internet, because Eve NG has to reach out to the internet every so often. What we're going to do here is follow the rest of the instructions that's listed on the TACACSGUI page here. All right, let's go find it here. Basically, we're just going to run this command here, because we already logged in, and everything else is going to be, it's basically going to run pretty much all by itself. So I'm going to put this command here real quick, and then, all right, it's going to go through a pretty long process here of installing, and I'll just go ahead and stop the video, and I'll go ahead and come back once it's done. All right, looks like we're finished, and this is what you're going to pretty much see. Final check, and press any key to exit. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video right now and finish up in part 2, because I'm pretty much hitting around the 15-minute mark. So I'll see you in part 2. Bye.